An amazing thing sometimes happens at internet support sites to quit smoking. The people who sometimes get the most positive feedback, the most congratulations, the most attention, are the ones who relapse that day and will come onto a board, tell some, sad story about what happened that caused them to relapse. They'll say they don't know what to do. They haven't even acknowledged that they're quitting yet. And they will sometimes get the most positive feedback of anybody at the site that day. How do they happen to manage that? Well, people will come in and will think that, because they sound so down by what happened, because they lost their quits and they sound so down, that they need to be built up. And people will come in very well meaning and say, oh yeah, they understand how that could happen, and you shouldn't beat yourself up, and it was so brave of you to come and say that you smoked. Like this was the heroic act of the day. They came in and admitted that they smoked, and they're just getting virtual hugs from people, because again, everyone thinks like they feel so, or they sound so sad that they need to be built up. Now let's keep in mind, there were plenty of people on the site that day who encountered problems in their lives too, real problems. They got through them without smoking. They put in 100% commitment. They stuck to the commitment. They're not getting any feedback about how good they're doing. Who's getting the feedback? Whose post is on top of the board? It's the person who's relapsed. And again, who has not necessarily even started to quit again. This is sad for a board. It's sad for the individual who's relapsed, because they're basically being told that it's okay to downplay what happened. Well, let's understand something. This relapse cost the person their quit. That down the line may cost the person their life, but they're being told, don't worry about it. It's understandable. Stuff happens, and this was just one of those things. It's a bad thing that happened. It's bad for the person giving the advice, because if they listen to their advice, they could start to believe like, boy, if they ever get into a situation where things get tough, well, you know what? They could smoke. They won't even be hypocrites if they do. It's like they told this person it was okay. They don't have to worry about coming in and admitting it, because, again, it won't be seen as a hypocritical act. This is the person's modus operandi. This is how they operate. This is how they think. It's sad for the board as a whole, though, because it minimized the implication of relapsing. No one should be minimizing the implication of relapsing. Again, relapsing will cost people their quits, and that can cost people their lives. Where support should be given is when you hear people who've gotten through real traumas and real problems and kept their quits intact. Those are the heroic acts of those days. It's not the people who went back to smoking. If you want to really help everybody at a site to stay quit, it's by acknowledging the victories. It's not by trying to console the people who are smoking and making them, again, think it's no big deal. It is a big deal. It's a big deal when a person loses their quit. It's also a big deal when people keep their quits. And to be able to be in that side of the equation, to be in the big deal of keeping your quit, it really is just a matter of making and sticking to your own personal commitment to never take another puff.